What's up YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, I want to give you guys some ideas for niches if you're in recruiting and you just don't know where to start. All right, so let's say you set up your recruiting agency, you got your LLC, you got your DBA, you got a business bank account, and you are looking at niches. You're like, I have no idea where to start in recruiting. I'm brand new. I don't come from any specific industry, but I want to start recruiting and I want to start fast, right? So what niches to tackle first? All right, so if you're absolutely brand new to the game and you just don't even know what you're doing whatsoever, I always talk about the low-hanging fruit, otherwise known as general recruiting, right? So these are basically niches in the general sense, right? These are places that are always hiring, that I call evergreen, right? They always have needs and they generally have volume needs. So they're great for first clients because they're gonna have a need for not one person, but maybe 5 people or so, right? So I talk about this stuff all the time, but let me reiterate: logistics, transportation, warehousing, construction, administrative, right? It's things like that, ideas like that are gonna get you up and running in your recruiting business, because those types of clients are relatively easy to get, relatively easy to sign a contract with a warehouse, right? That needs just a handful of people like forklift drivers and maybe some non-CDL drivers to transport their products or whatever it is, or a transportation company that just needs some non-CDL Sprinter van drivers, right? Like the Amazon vans that you see driving around, those types of cars, right? So that kind of thing is where you would absolutely start out in the general sense. Let's get more into kind of the specificity of what you want to do as you scale your agency. All right, so at the top of the list, this is where the money is. If you absolutely want to know where the money is in recruiting, technology tops the list, okay? So IT, technology, this tops the list. We're talking about cybersecurity roles. We're talking about software development roles. We're talking like Java developers, data scientists, all that kind of stuff goes into IT and tech. So if you come from this field and if you know this field, then it's a shoo-in for you, because generally speaking, you know the right points of contact, right? So you know the right people to talk to, and you know the jargon, right? You already know the jargon of that actual niche of the industry. So you can speak to the clients and you can speak to the candidates, right? So that's one thing. Also, you're going to need to learn the whole recruiting piece, but you're going to know the industry, you're going to know the niche. So technology tops the list on where the money is, because there's high ticket placements to be made there. Data scientists at a really experienced level could go for placements that are worth like $40,000 to you, right? So look out for those big ticket items, but I wouldn't start there if you're brand new. All right, so next up on the list is healthcare. Healthcare has a ton of money in it, right? And a lot of people cut their chops in healthcare, whether it be doctors, nurses, healthcare administration, like, director of nursing, like positions like that, or lower tier skilled positions on the healthcare spectrum. We're talking about CNAs, certified nursing assistants, or phlebotomists, right? Or lab technicians, or people like that, right? Anywhere in the healthcare realm, I can tell you that it is an always hiring field. Evergreen, right? It's always in need of new positions. People, unfortunately, are always getting sick. People are always getting old, and people are always going to need healthcare, right? So it's not a niche that's going away anytime soon. It's not a niche that you have layoffs happening nonstop like crazy or anything like that. In fact, there's a huge shortage in healthcare specifically. Again, though, I wouldn't jump straight in trying to place nurses right off the bat, because just like data scientists, nurses, they fetch a pretty penny. And when you can get a placement for a nurse, you're going to make a good amount of money, especially when you have volume, like not just one nurse, but 5 or 6 nurses. So those are niches right there, healthcare and tech, that I would jump into after I really kind of get established and get a feel for what I'm doing. Even if I come from the healthcare space, or if I come from the IT space, once again, I wouldn't dive right in I would definitely have them in my sights for a few months out once I get my chops cut on all the other items, right? The general recruiting. Let's continue down the list. All right, next up on the list is finance. Okay, so people again are always in need of financial advice, people to manage their money, people to advise them on investments, right? Finance is always a booming niche, and especially when it comes to tax season or any season when people need advice related to taxes or their money or how it relates and prepares for their taxes earlier on, right? So just in general, like let's just talk about their wealth preservation, right? Or maybe their entire estate preparation, right? We're talking about all levels of finance, right? So you could have financial analysts, you could have CPAs, you could have all sorts of items inside the financial realm. Again, this isn't a spot I would start day one unless you're just an absolute expert in this field. Again, you really need to know that recruiting piece, but with that in mind, finance is an awesome niche. There's a lot of positions in there and it's a great place to be in. All right, so next up on the list is engineering. Engineers span the spectrum, right? We go from civil engineers, electrical engineers, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, the list goes on. There are engineers for everything. So engineering is a wide spectrum niche, and it's also a very highly skilled niche, right? Engineers are smart people, and this is a very highly sought after, type of person that you're looking for as a candidate. So if you can get a company that gives you job requisites for an engineer or a few engineers, you are definitely in the money because you can definitely charge a good penny for an engineer, right? You're definitely going to be making placements above 20% as your fee, 20 to 25% or so. So with that being said, I wouldn't start there day one again, but this is definitely a niche that you can develop into, right? Or one of the niches that you want to develop into, or A/B split test, right? Such as A/B split testing, healthcare and engineering, right? Who are you getting more hits back from, right? If it's engineering, just double down on that and keep going with it, right? So that's engineering. Let's go up to our last one on the list, and then I'll give you kind of an overview. All right, so the last on my list here is sales and marketing. Every single company that I can think of needs sales and marketing, right? That means salespeople and people that can actually implement their marketing, right? So these are actually pretty skilled people, right? You need really talented people that can sell a product or sell a service over the phone or in person, whatever it might be. Marketing, right? Really skilled people that can think of ideas for properly marketing products or services or the company in general, just to guide the marketing or guide the sales, right? People that want to manage the sales, right? People that need to manage the marketing, right? From every spectrum, sales and marketing absolutely is a necessity for all companies. So you can look out for those as absolutely necessities, as positions for people that you're going to be looking for in the realm of this list that I'm giving you right now. Now, this is a holistic list of people that I absolutely think you could take and make $1 million on, right? You could utilize this list and 100% place these types of positions in all of these niches that I've given you and make easily $1 million in 1 year utilizing this list. You definitely need to know how to recruit all of them, but this list of niches is a place for you to start and a place for you to expand, right? So I started off with kind of the generalized labor, right? More of that, transportation, construction, lower skilled trades, administrative, etc. Then we went into kind of the higher tier stuff, right? Tech, healthcare, went into engineering, marketing, finance, sales, that kind of stuff, where it's a little bit more skilled, more professional, right? So we call that kind of stuff tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 in our program when we talk about niches. But all of these niches are very viable for you, and you should definitely look at every single one of them as you expand your recruiting agency. All right, so an overview of this is basically kind of what I said at the beginning. Start off by looking at general labor. Understand that you need to really, really cut your chops with recruiting and get a placement down, get your second placement down, third placement down, and then start exploring more niches, right? Don't put your nose in a corner and go into one niche. Don't simply niche all the way down and be like, I'm only in finance. That's all I ever do. That's not gonna work. It's gonna get really frustrating, I can guarantee it. Open yourself up and diversify. Split test. Look at various niches. Don't have more than 3, don't have less than 2. That's my rule. So start off with these niches and see where everything takes you. Hey guys, if you're not in our Facebook group, Recruiter Empire, link in description. There's 16,000 of us in there. We want to see you as our brand new student in our program, but we also want to see you in Recruiter Empire, our Facebook group. And I'll see you guys next time.